Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to the Bounty Hunter series here in Elite Dangerous. For today, we're going to be doing a set of 3 assassination missions or takedown missions. We do bounty hunting work, not the illegal stuff. But the focus of today's episode, as it has kind of been lately, is going to just be addressing my audience because I've had some comments recently about my videos, and I want to explain to you why things are happening the way that they're happening. Because I think a lot of people, especially if you don't do content creation, you don't really know how it works, and you assume that because you would do it a certain, you want it to be a certain way, that's how it goes, and it doesn't work that way. So if you are the kind of person who is able to, and I went over all this stuff in my Path of Exile 2 video, so if you're coming over from that, if you're one of the few people who actually watches more than one game on my channel, then this is going to be a repeat of the stuff I said over there. YouTube was originally intended to be something where people just shared the stuff that they did. They did it for fun, they did it for all that stuff, but then it became monetized, and then it became an option for people to try to do as a career. Now, me personally, YouTube is not something I'm doing because I have dreams of being some kind of star or any of that stuff. Like, I'm a pretty private person, and if I won the lottery tomorrow, you guys would probably never see me again. I'm here doing YouTube because life circumstances have worked out in a way to where I pretty much just don't have any other options at this point to try to build something that takes me in the direction that I want to go, right? Like, yeah, there are jobs out there I could be doing, but they're not going to provide me with what I'm trying to get out of my life, right? And so, what am I doing here? They're not going to, I need some kind of remote, I need some kind of, and I forget, we're landing, so let me do that. I need some kind of remote work option. To get to the part of my life that I want to be doing, I need remote work, and I haven't been able to find a job, a regular job, or I also just haven't been able to find any kind of like self-employment thing that I am comfortable doing that would allow me to do that, right? Yeah, I could go work in an office somewhere, but even then AI is making it to where that kind of work is just really hard to come by now because people just don't need it nearly as much as they used to. So there's fewer jobs going around for more people looking for the same kind of work, and my disability and my age makes physical labor jobs just not feasible for me. So I've been kind of shoehorned into doing YouTube because it's the only option I have left that, you know, is actually doing something for me. As little as it is, it's actually, you know, I am getting a little bit of money out of, you know, sitting down and doing a couple of videos every day. So I had somebody leave a comment on one of my posts that I just did, talking about how it feels like I rushed through this stuff. I guess especially my Elite Dangerous stuff, because that's the game he mentioned. And it's like, it feels like you're treating it like a job. And I'm like, well, yeah, I am treating it like a job because it is a job. This is like, if you've watched my content for any length of time, you know that I'm more or less continually burned out on Elite Dangerous because there's just very little to do, and the stuff, a lot of what they have to do has a bunch of just repetitive, unnecessary things that I find kind of obnoxious, and I don't really want to do it. The problem is that Elite Dangerous is the biggest video series on my channel because I've been doing it the longest, but also just because, you know, I've attracted an audience that is just really into Elite Dangerous, and enough people will actually click on my videos to watch them. And so this and Path of Exile 2 are the video series that actually get views and that actually generate revenue for me, right? It's easy for people who are just doing YouTube as a hobby to say, oh, well, I'll just play what I want and whatever happens, happens. And it's like, great, good for you. I'm glad you're in a situation where you can do that. But if you're like me and, you know, you're trying to treat it as a business because you need to do things that are going to generate revenue, then you're kind of stuck doing things you might not necessarily want to be doing. And, you know, as much as I do love Elite Dangerous, don't get me wrong. I know people think that I hate this game because of the stuff I say about it, but there's a reason why, you know, even sometimes on my own time, I go and I do things. Like, I've spent a fair amount of time in the last week doing the whole, doing that mission to get the extra cargo space things. Like, I do like Elite Dangerous. Like, I know I complain about aspects of it, but it's because those aspects actually do really bother me. But it's those aspects that bother me, not the game as a whole. But regardless, you know, if you're like me and you can never become super obsessive forever over one game, you do eventually get burned out and you don't want to play it that much anymore. You don't want to play it at all anymore, and you want to move on to something else and you want to do something different. But if you're a YouTuber and your audience doesn't move over to whatever else it is that you're trying to do, then you're going to take a hit in your watches, in your view time. You're going to take a hit in your views. You're going to take a hit in your revenue, because YouTube pays based on people watching your content and being able to shove ads in front of your face. And as long as that continues to be the model, and as long as... pretty sure our person's going to be in here, but we don't have enough... They're always in that room. But we don't have enough power to be able to break our way into that, so... yeah, this is going to work. I need... come on.
Security profile cloned.
Okay, almost certainly they're going to be in the room here. I'll get back to my point in a second. Columbus Stewart.
Entering pressurized environment.
Where is he?
Entering restricted area.
Wow, it's actually not in the same space. Okay. You can tell that I'm a little bit confused, because normally every other mission that we've done here, they've been right there. So that's different. Okay, well, we have a security clearance now, so we'll go inside and grab a...
Entering pressurized environment.
Interesting. Well, I'd like to get that, but I don't want them to scan me. I don't... It says there's a terminal over here, so let's go this way and see if we can find that. It's the first time I've come to Aliun and had to kill somebody in a different place than... oh, is he in the power plant? Ah. No, he's over there. Okay. So we just need to get over this way. So anyways, like I was saying, if it seems like sometimes my videos feel like I'm just trying to get a job done, yeah, I am. I am trying to get a job done, because YouTube is my work. Like, that's what I'm doing. And I'm only doing YouTube because it's the only thing that has kind of presented itself as an opportunity that's actually getting me somewhere, even as slow as it's being. And that's just kind of the way it is. And, you know, you can be upset about it, I guess, if that bothers you. I do my best to try to, you know, approach every video with as much of a sense of positivity as I can. But at the same time, sometimes you just get worn out and you don't want to do this crap anymore. Like, if you think about your job that you go to every day, there are days where you go in and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to be here today. Ugh. Right? And, you know, the more your job feels like a drain on your life, the more days that's going to happen. And so, you know, if I can't find an audience who is interested in watching me play video games rather than just watching me play Elite Dangerous, if I can't move over to another game and people are interested enough in me as a content creator that they're willing to follow me over to that, then I get stuck playing Elite Dangerous and Path of Exile 2, doing the same thing over and over again on, you know, Groundhog Day mode. And, you know, it is what it is. You do what you have to do. You know, I was a Marine for 11 years, and you know, that teaches you to suck it up, dude. You got to do what you got to do. But that doesn't mean that, you know, my attitude's always going to be the best, and it doesn't mean that you're always going to get the kind of content that you want to see, because, you know, it's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. There's no... Let's see. How far away is this? 904 kilometers?
Frameshift drive charging.
We're going to have to get out of the atmosphere and slingshot around for a minute. So the point I'm trying to make in this video is that I'm not going to apologize for approaching my content creation in the way that I do. Because I told you guys, and I've told you guys from the beginning, that I don't want to be fake. I don't want to pretend to be something that I'm not. And, you know, it's not necessarily pretending to try to approach your job from the most positive place that you can, but I am limited by the fact that I can only be so positive doing something that has become a chore for me. It just is. And if, you know, if people aren't interested in me enough, like, I don't want to blame the audience for not following me over to different games. That's not fair. Like, you know, it's natural for me to kind of feel that way, but I know that's not fair. That's not your fault. You know, you want to watch what you want to watch. YouTube is here to provide you with entertainment, and I can't fault you as the viewer for that. That's not your fault. It's YouTube's fault. It's YouTube's fault for not providing a system that makes it so that you find people that you like, and then just watch whatever, and then you're willing to watch whatever they do because you like them as a creator. It's YouTube's fault. It's YouTube's issue, and YouTube will never do anything about it because they have no reason to do anything about it. But it does mean that, you know, for people like me who are not content to just be stuck doing one game or one subject or one whatever, like, it's very rare for a content creator to find something that they can do that provides them with the ability to do a bunch of different things. Like, if you watch Smarter every day, he has a certain skill set that allows him to do a bunch of different stuff. He's not stuck just doing the same engineering videos every day. He does a bunch of different stuff because he has a skill set that allows him to do that, and he's able to capitalize on that. And I love watching his videos. It's easy to, everybody's going to talk about, you know, your response to that's going to be, well, he has a very bubbly attitude and he's a very super positive person. And yeah, that's a major aspect of it. But at the same time, it's much easier to be that way when you can be genuinely excited about the work you're doing. Like, I'm super happy and excited and stuff when I'm doing things I like to do, right? Like, it's much, much easier to be happy and excited and present things in a way that's, you know, awesome and amazing when what you're doing is what you love. It's much harder to do that when you're forced to just kind of grind it out. And unfortunately, I fall into the category of people who don't have the kind of skill set that allows me to do whatever I want to do. And because YouTube is set up in the way that it's set up, you get stuck doing the same thing over and... Oh. Okay. That's easy. You get stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again because YouTube bases its algorithm on subjects, especially if you're trying to get in the gaming sphere. If you're going to get in the gaming sphere, you're going to be stuck in one single video game until maybe you are able to grow enough of an audience that a significant portion of them will follow you if you try to go do something else, right? Like, Asmongold is as big as he is because he was super obsessive over World of Warcraft for a very long time while it was popular. He put lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of hours into it, and then he built up enough of an audience of people who actually liked him as a content creator rather than just World of Warcraft that he was able to switch over to variety content, right? I don't have that option to me right now because I don't have an audience that's going to follow me for that. I just don't. It's the way it is, and I accept that. You know, I'm not going to complain about the fact that that's the way it is. It's fine. But it does mean that sometimes I'm going to feel more burned out than other times, and it means I'm going to end up being kind of annoyed. It's just the way that it is. Hold on, I got to make sure. Yeah, find another way. Oh, wrong thing. And I kind of screwed myself by accidentally pressing the tab key instead of that, so we're going to have to wait for line of sight to happen. So, yeah, I know lately my last few videos have been a lot of talking about real-world stuff instead of just the game. And there's a reason for that. It's because I want to make sure you guys know where I'm coming from. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to pretend to be... I'm not going to pretend to be, you know, super obsessed with the game when I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not super obsessed with the game. I don't mind. Like, this job is, like, what I'm doing right now is way better than any other job that I've done so far. And, you know, it's cool that I'm kind of able to do it. But until the rewards of the job start coming in, until I start making a decent amount of money, and I'm able to like use that money to make a living, because I'm nowhere close to that yet. I'm doing all of this for free, basically. Almost all of this is all almost completely for free. The amount of money I make off of this stuff right now is almost nothing. I am a professional YouTuber, but only technically. And you know, you can only give away your time and effort for free, and that be enough for you for so long. Eventually you get to the point where you're just like, you know, I'd like to start getting paid for this. And you know, it takes a long time to do that. I said before, it takes like 5 years for a business to get to the point where it's profitable. And that's the only reason why I continue to do this is because I continue to see growth in my channel. If I get to a point where I'm not getting any subscribers and my view counts start dropping off and all of that stuff, then YouTube's just not worth my time anymore. It's not. I'm not doing this for fun. Like, this is not for fun for me. I try to get as much fun out of it as I can, but you know, and if that attitude bothers you, I understand, but I'm, again, like, if I had income, if I had a job that I liked doing and that provided me with the kind of life, with the kind of freedom that I want, if I could find something else that I could do that, you know, I'd be relatively happy with, be relatively happy doing, that would give me the same kind of freedom that a YouTube channel could potentially give me, I'd be done with YouTube tomorrow. I'm not doing content creation because I enjoy content creation. I'm doing content creation because at the moment and for the last couple of years, it's been my only real option. And you know, that's not a woe is me story. That's a, you know, you do what you have to do to try to get to where you're trying to get. It just is what it is. That's all I can say. That's all I can really say about it. So I know these episodes for some of you are just like, can you just play the fucking game, dude? No, because sometimes I have to address why things are the way they are, and that means taking time out of a video or taking time out of a game to explain. Because, you know, if people are going to leave me comments talking about how they feel like I'm just rushing through this stuff, yeah, I am. I am just rushing through this stuff a lot of the time. Every time I sit down, my goal is to complete the tasks in the game as quickly as possible so I can crank out an episode and move on with my day. Because I don't enjoy this enough for it to be genuinely exciting and fun. Because after thousands of videos, I don't know. I need to go back and count how many Elite Dangerous videos I've done so far. We might be at over 1,000 Elite Dangerous videos at this point. Right? How many videos is acceptable before you start saying, I'm kind of tired of doing this now? Right? Like, I've done a lot of Elite Dangerous. I've made a lot of Elite Dangerous content. And while I would love to be able to move on to something else, the audience has to come with me to make it worth it to do it, right? Like, there is no video game that I'm gonna play that's gonna make it worth my time if I'm not at least, you know, getting pretty close to the view counts that I'm getting on my Elite Dangerous stuff. You can't, this is why a lot of businesses fail, because people think that, you know, you just got to do a covert takedown. So we might, depending on where they are, we might be able to just do this and get out. If not, we're going to end up having to turn the alarms off, which is going to kind of suck. So we need Cora Everett. This is the reason why a lot of businesses fail, and it's because people don't approach it from a you got to do what you got to do standpoint, and they I gotta think about things for a second here. Oh. Am I under attack? Oh. Okay, that was weird. I mean, if I can get her to be by herself.
I'm out of range, moving up!
That's Dylan. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is.
I don't have a visual.
Let's try to get out of here before anybody notices her.
Target lost.
Okay, back to your patrol.
Starting sweep.
Anyways, this is why a lot of businesses fail, and it's because people don't prioritize, you know, effective use of their time and resources over, you know, I just want to own a business. Like, you can't approach any kind of a business venture with the attitude of I'm just doing this for fun. Yeah, if you can get some fun out of it, that's great, but realistically, any business you do, whether it's a fun business or whatever, there's going to be a lot of I don't want to do this, but I got to do it anyway. And, you know, for the most part, as a content creator, I do try to put on that face of, hey, let's have fun and all that stuff, because, you know, that's not your fault as the audience that that's the way it is for we as content creators. Most of the time, I'm trying to, like, present a professional product that you guys want to watch. But that doesn't mean that, you know, sometimes I'm not going to have days where I'm just like, man, I really don't feel like doing this. And some days I'm going to be more annoyed than others, and some days it's going to come through. And you're going to get a lot of content where we're just trying to hurry up and get through it because I have other things I'd prefer to be doing with my time than playing Elite Dangerous. I'm here to... I believe the reason why most people watch my Elite Dangerous stuff is because I'm reasonably competent at it, and they want to see somebody who knows what they're doing playing the game, somebody who is reasonably skilled at it playing the game. They like watching me go in and just massacre people, and like that. I think that hits a satisfaction button for them, and it's, you know, that's great. But it is the same for me as the player. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So, you know, you can only get so much enjoyment out of that. So you have to go where the audience is, and for now my audience is Elite Dangerous and Path of Exile 2, and so I make videos every day for Elite Dangerous and Path of Exile 2. I don't want to, but you have to. And if you are an adult in this if you are an adult in this world, you have learned that sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do. It's just the way it is. And those of you who have jobs that you don't particularly care for, you go in every day and you feel that way about it when you do it, right? Like, that's just the way it is. So I try to be professional. I'm not going to pretend to, you know, be this super positive person all the time, because I'm not. I believe in being honest with my audience, and so some days you guys are going to get really, really happy, excited me, and other days you're going to get, I don't really want to be here me. It's the way it is. And if that bothers you, then I'm looking for people who are interested in watching me as a content creator, not people who are interested in Elite Dangerous being my only world, or Path of Exile 2 being my only world. Like, no, these are games I'm playing because it's what I have to do right now. That's it. That's the only reason why. I would much rather find another game to play that I'm more excited to do, and then you'll get an excited version of me. Just the way it works. So. I know that's not what some people want to hear, but it is what it is, and that's just all I have to say about it. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers, join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks, or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links for those of you who prefer to contribute in that manner. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for the next video, and I'll see you then.